Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. So, where should I start? I actually wanted to bring the Essence Drain character since it successfully killed the Uber Elder and all content was pretty fine and great build. I wanted to actually make a Bane build slash Soul Rend thingish thing out of the Occultist. But yeah, this happened. There we go. I tell you, if this shit... Wait, I don't even have an attack now. If this shit is going to break, I'm literally done with this league. I'm done. I have literally just garbage gear. The only thing I do have is this shafts. If this rips, stream is over. Good night, everybody. So as you can imagine, I'm pretty pissed about that, and yes, I know it was my fault because I should not have done it, but I promised it on the stream because I got the Corruption Chamber like a couple days ago, and I was like, hey, wait a second. Once we're linking this shafts, we're gonna corrupt it. Yeah. So back to basically league start number 2, because yeah, I have some 1 Chaos Orb items. These are level 10 swords, Tabula, yeah, pretty much junk basically. But this time I wanted to try out the holy skills, and I decided to go first with the wave of conviction. That's the weird wave that you're doing. Wait a second. Where is it? Blue gems. There it is. With a cast while channeling. So that would actually look something like that, because Divine Ire is basically a one-shot ability, right? So you know this Son Goku beam thingish, right? So this was the first idea that I had, that I was like, hey, wait a second. This one ability is like a supermassive one-shot ability, and the other one is actually a pretty nice clear, so I wanted to go something like that. But in the end, I decided not to, because then the Wave of Conviction is probably gonna do more damage at the moment as Divine Ire does. So I was skipping that. I was going with Infused Channeling, but we're gonna go about the links and so on a little bit later. So I would say let's just run a map real quick and see how that build works out. I'm currently level 72, so I leveled this char up yesterday. So I think we're gonna go with a Burial Chamber here, tier 6 map. And maybe we get a Lucky Doctor drop, maybe some better mods, I don't know. 84 quant is actually pretty fine. So, just to give you an example or an idea how this build is working. So, since I didn't really need to get the Wave of Conviction for wave clear, because once you start channeling your Divine Ire, you're gonna see those crackling stuff around here. That will also damage enemies. So, with the Herald of Ice that I'm running at the moment, this is actually quite fine clear speed, I would say. As I say again, level 72, right? So pretty chunk gear, so basically it's just a first impression, what I think about the skill, what I think it can do later on in the stages. Like what possibilities we have and so on. So Nico is actually pretty fine. We're using a Lightning Warp at the moment to... for our movement skill. And I got a Lightning Warp on the Falling plus the Helm enchant that has Lightning Warp duration reduced. So basically my Lightning Warp is near to instant, which is pretty fine. So let's clear that off. So the longer you channel this thing, the more stacks you get. You see those stacks on the top side? Like when there is no mobs around, you see it channels pretty slowly. And for every stack you get like more and more damage. But there is one fine thing, as I said before, this crackling thing here that you see, all those small lightning things, they hit up to 5 targets. And every time this crackling hits, we have a 40% chance to get 2 additional stages on our channeling. So once you're actually instantly going into a group, you're gonna see how fast you're gonna stack this thing actually. But you're actually dying on the crackling, so yeah. Let's kill off the rest here. I don't really know how much stacks is actually good. You need to get a feeling on how long you should channel to one-shot something. Obviously 20 stacks is way too much for all these mobs here. But it's a very unique and funny playstyle. Do you remember when I was bringing the Righteous Fire build guides? Where people that never played Righteous Fire said like, hey, wait a second, this is probably the most boring build I've ever seen. And it is actually not even true. Like, when you're trying out Righteous Fire yourself and you see the potential that it has and I say how tanky it is and how fun it is actually to play. Maybe it looks like boring, but actually it is pretty cool to play. And I think it's the same for this one, because probably you say like, hey, wait a second, it's just a beam forward, like that's not funny at all, you know. But once you play it, it's a very different or unique playstyle. And I have to say, once now I play it, I thought worse. Actually. So, boss is actually, yeah, almost two-shot. So I saw videos where you actually one-shot, or at least two-shot a Minotaur, that's a Guardian, that was pretty sick. So yeah, map showcase done. Let's sell this one because I actually really need currency. Because I want to talk about the build in one hand, in the other hand, since I'm low on currency and low on level and so on, I would rather talk about what possibilities we have on that one. So pretty much this one is not interested anymore, whatever. So let's go over the gear real quick. So I'm using a Straconia's hat with reduced lightning warp duration. That's mainly because I use lightning warp at the moment. So that goes with lightning warp, with swift affliction. So basically, I'm going to show you that how that works here. Lightning warp has a duration. As you see, you get actually a circle over here. And once the channeling or casting or whatever is done, you get teleported to this location. So the shorter the duration of this lightning warp is, the faster it will do the animation. So that's why we have Swift Affliction that has also 50% reduced duration of supported skills. Then we have the faster casting, and we have a less duration support. And we have the less duration on our lightning warp. So basically, we're just gonna try to bring down the cooldown, or at least the casting animation speed thing from lightning warp to a minimum. And that's why my character hasn't even gotten an animation yet, or at least almost not anymore. It's almost instant. And it's actually pretty easy to swap around with this one. The question is just, is this actually good in that case? Because first of all, it's a 4-link. If I would use just Flame Dash, it's a 1-link. Flame Dash faster casting could be a 2-link. Maybe Flame Dash faster casting with Arcane Surge could be a 3-link. So with Flame Dash, you cannot permanently swap around, but still you have a pretty awesome movement skill and also Arcane Surge. And we're gonna see how much skill gems, or at least gem slots, will stay open on that point. So in our helmet, we have the increased duration Righteous Fire, like Val Righteous Fire, please, yeah. So we're just gonna kill mobs, we're gonna load this one up, and once the boss approaches, you're gonna activate it. You get more spell damage once this is actually active, so you're gonna one-shot even more. I just forgot that one on the boss, so it's still, I played this for one day, I still need to get into the build. And here we have just a cast 1 damage taking Immortal Call setup. So why Straconia's hat? It's a pretty cheap item, I would say. They go for a couple chaos, I think. Yeah, 2 chaos, that's easy. I bought this one for 15 chaos with lightning warp enchant, so that was pretty easy as well. You get life, you get crit, so that's actually pretty, yeah, pretty solid, I would say, since we're a crit build. For my weapons, these are the Princess. It's completely useless, or at least whatever those weapons have. Basically, it works like the old Blade Vortex. You just want to have stat sticks, basically. Because the Divine Ire, they are physical spells. If we move over to Divine Ire, we have like deals 160 to 160 physical damage. So you convert this kind of damage because the gem itself has already 50% physical damage converted to lightning. And then we run a physical to lightning, which gives another 50% of physical converted to lightning. So we have 100% of that physical damage converted to lightning. So what that means is you can take any kind of Fizz as extra, cold, fire, whatever, those kind of stat stick shaped bases, you know, to boost your damage. These are was a pretty cheap investment. I think like 1 fusing or 1 chance, 1 alchemy to get one of these weapons. And the only thing that really counts in that one is gain 29% of physical damage as extra cold. That's why I'm dual wielding those, so I have this bonus twice. That means I have like 20, 40, 80, 67%. No, 57%. God, it's way too early to do math. But yes, 57%. Fizz is extra cold damage, which is pretty nice. Gem slots we have here just Zealotry and Wrath. I don't even have Wrath active at the moment. I'm just leveling it because I think that I will go Zealotry and Wrath combined with an Enlighten level 4. I tried out Enlighten level 3, but that was not that great. I just had so minor mana left that I could only channel for like 3 or 4 seconds until I went out of mana, so that was not a solution yet. I think that this too could be a possibility, that's why I leveled it up. But at the moment I'm just using the Zealotry. In our offhand we have the same weapon with a Herald of Ash. What I'm not using at the moment, I'm just like, when I have gem slots open, I just randomly put in skill gems that I think could be valuable somewhere later. So I'm just leveling them up, and when I want to try them, I already have them at level 18, 19, or even 20. So basically the Herald of Ash will give you also physical damage as extra fire. So we want to scale all those Fizz's extra things wherever we can get them. So what I run is Herald of Ice at the moment, because Herald of Ice will give us power charges on that scenario once we kill at least Herald of Ice will not give us power charges, but the Assassin's Mark will do. So in one hand we get some life and mana back while we are killing mobs, and also the cursed enemies have higher chance to get critted on, and also we have a chance to get a power charge. So that sustains our power charges in the maps, because Herald of Ice, Curse on hit support, then we have Onslaught, and also the Assassin's Mark. So basically, that's just for cursing enemies, getting power charges, and so on. I would, when I find a way to sustain power charges regularly, maybe on a power charge and critical support on my Divine Ire, so that doesn't matter then if I have it for bosses or also for mapping. Because here we have a chance to get a power charge on crit once we do damage, right? So that would mean that I would probably run Zealotry and Herald of Ash if I keep on going with the power charge on critical. If not, then a Herald of Ice setup could actually work with a Curse on Hit Assassin's Mark. But the problem is Assassin's Mark will not give you power charges once you approach a boss. You know, it says power charge when an enemy is slain, so that works for mapping but not for bosses. So if you focus Shaper on that scene and he doesn't have any ads out, you will not get any power charges. So we have actually multiple ways to fix that. First one would be a power charge and critical support on your Divine Ire, but you need to see how much DPS you lose while using that support gem. Another thing that we can do, if we go to blue gems, we could use an Orb of Storms. Where is it? Wait, let me search that. Orb of Storms. Then we can go with an increased crit. Then we can go with power charge on critical, maybe faster casting or increased area of effect. So basically once you are the boss, you're just gonna lay this one down and then just go DPS, because the Orb of Storms will actually bring you the power charges. So we're gonna see throughout today, because I'm probably gonna get this one up to 90 today, and a lot of more mapping and trying out. You know, I'm just went through the acts. I was just randomly making some tier 1 maps or so to get some levels. To see later on what we're gonna do once the currency ramps up. So talking about Divine Ire, we have Divine Ire with the infused channeling, because this is for every single channeling skill. This is probably the most insane DPS and survivability support gem. Then we have physical to lightning, as explained before, so our Divine Ire has 100% fizz to lightning conversion. Then we use power charge and critical. Since I just explained that I still tried out what is better, or what will be better in that case. Then we have increased critical damage support and the Arcane Surge support, since I cannot run the Arcane Surge support on our movement skill, right? We would have another option with Wave of Conviction. That would be a 4-link like Wave of Conviction. Then you have Fist to Lightning, increased duration support, and the Arcane Surge. So that would mean that you randomly throughout the map cast a Wave of Conviction, get like Arcane Surge for like 7 seconds or so, and then feel free to do so. But as you guys know me, I'm a super lazy player. That means I don't want to care about anything. I want to have my movement skill and also my damage ability, and then sustain power charges, Arcane Surge, that kind of stuff, you know. So what can we do else? We talked about the Swift, the lightning warp, and I had a pretty funny thing here, because usually I use lightning warp movement skills with arcane surge. So you always use movement skills, you're gonna have your arcane surge up all the time, right? But the problem that I had, let's see here, the arcane surge will last for about 4 seconds, but when I use it on my lightning warp, it will be... Okay, now we can spam a little bit. Do we actually see it? Okay, now I don't have mana. Anyways, what I wanted to say is, since we have a shitload of less duration on, like less duration support, the Swift Affliction and so on, this will also count for the Arcane Surge buff. So once we activate our Arcane Surge on our Lightning Warp, we basically have a duration of 0.8 seconds or something. So that was actually funny when I was thinking about, hey, wait a second, Arcane Surge in movement skill, that's actually good, let's do that. And then when I was trying it out, I was like, hey, wait a second, why does my Arcane Surge only last for 1 second? That's stupid. And then I remembered, wait a second, we have less duration and all that stuff, and that counts for the buff duration as well. So yeah. What else do we have in the gear? Basically, life resistance. Life resistance, life resistance, life resistance, life resistance, life resistance, movement speed, okay, a little bit, but that's about it. So pretty chunk gear. Everything, single thing that I bought here is actually 1 chaos, or at least less than a chaos. Just the tabula and the silken hood is a little bit more expensive. So, talking about the flasks, what I have, a Quicksilver flask, obviously for faster movement. If we're gonna not use Lightning Warp for some maps that are not straightforward, you know, like cells or something, there is pretty fine if you have a regular Quicksilver flask to move around. Then we have a Diamond flask with bleed immunity, obviously we're a crit build. A Sulfur flask with freeze immunity, since, yeah, we are not only live regen enabled, but we're also a Scion. That means we use the Templar, the Inquisitor node, and that says that we're immune to elemental ailments while on consecrated ground, so that's even better on that stage. Then we have the Wise Oak currently balanced resistances, because yeah, we're, as I said, Scion. That means I get a shitload of all resistance over the cluster over here, and yeah, the rest is just basically... Here, some lightning resistance. Here we have all resistance, all resistance, all resistance. So if you're gonna keep on the all resistance, it's pretty easy to balance your Wise Oak. If you cannot balance, try to get your lightning as high as possible, so the damage penetration counts for lightning, since the majority of our damage is going to be lightning. And yeah, 1 instant life flask that I just had laying around. Probably gonna switch that one later when I get some leech or some other mechanic to get up my HP pool. So, talking about that, we're going over to the skill tree. So, I'm a Scion, as I said. I wanted to go Inquisitor only, but I just don't like how this guy is talking like this. I'm no beast of burden, and I don't know, like, I just don't like that. So, that's why I went for Scion, and that is also another interesting fact. Maybe if, in whatever scenario, Divine Hour is not working out for me, I can still play whatever I want with the Scion, basically, right? We can do some Slayer Overleech, although that got nerfed by half, so we're gonna see if that is completely shit now or still viable. Juggernaut, whatever I want to do, some self-casting, maybe I'm just gonna stick with this one, or we're gonna see what the future will bring, maybe some self-casting arc again, whatever. So, this is the budget version of the Unnatural Instinct, basically. We have the All Resistance, the Scion Life Cluster. Here's some Life Regen, since we are not Wild Packed, so we have a use of Life Regen. Here's some more spell damage, and obviously the multiplier. So I'm using 3 Might of the Meeks at the moment. They are actually super cheap this time. Usually they go for like 1 to 2 exalts. They're now at 40 chaos. I think I bought mine for 35 or something. So what they do, they would just give a 50% increased effect on the small nodes that we skill. But the big ones does have no effect at all. So that means we have here, for example, 18 resistance. We're gonna put in the first one. We have like 27 resistance. Here we have now 36. And when we get in the last one, we have freaking 45 all resistance just by those 3 nodes. And then we have like 7% increased life here twice. like 4 times, 3 times, 10%, and the constitution still works because the area here is not going over the middle, so that's actually super insane. The only problem is that this one has no effect, but I had to go for that way to get to the Scion life cluster. What else is pretty insane is this here. So we have here 3 multiplier nodes. These 2 get stacked 3 times, and this is 2 times stacked with the Might of the Meeks. So if we could compare that one to maybe sorry, Throat Seeker, this is the big node, gives a 30, 12, 12 multiplier, right? And on many crit builds you go for Throat Seeker. So let's compare this to this one, right? We had 30, 12, 12. Here we have 37, 37, 30. So those 3 points are that valuable that you actually could have 2 Throat Seekers at the same time. So that is just insane. But once I get an Unnatural Instinct somewhere in probably a year or 2, I would just replace those skill points, go for the attack speed nodes, so we're gonna get the spell damage nodes, because the Unnatural Instinct will give you all the nodes that are not skilled. Okay, so that's why you skill the useless ones, so you get all the the good ones you're gonna get, and the non-good ones that you skill are just disabled on that point. So then I checked, as I said before, we are Elementalist and Inquisitor. Since I want to go for power charges, I was thinking about going for the Witch starting point, because we have a power charge here. Let's close this one over here, and one over here. This one I'm gonna reach soon, as soon as I get some level up, basically. The Elementalist will also give us immune to Elemental Reflect, so we can pretty much run every single map mod once we get a Leech going. Since we can, if we have Leech, we can do no regen maps, right? And yeah, we're gonna see how that one works out, but at the moment I'm super happy with the Inquisitor and Elementalist combo. What else do we have? Inquisitor, multiplier, damage penetration, so basically damage, damage, damage. And we have the Witch starting area, as explained before, with the power charges. So I went up over here going for the Arcanist's Dominion, some more life nodes, some crit nodes, area of effect, power charge. This one is very important because you get spell damage per power charge. Then we have more life, going over here, spell crit, the new channeling skill, where we get more attack and cast speed and physical damage reduction. Some more life, power charge, more life. That's like more area of effect, life, and some damage nodes. Here is the second channeling thing. So here we have chance to be avoided by stun, and also more increased damage, less mana cost, and so on, so we can channel more. Here I took some crackling speed because we are basically lightning based. Cast speed, multiplier, super good. If you're gonna continue that, if I open Path of Building, I don't know if I saved my mindset basically yesterday. I think I did. So this is the Path of Building that was playing around yesterday. And here I would go for the Written Blood, here more spell crit. Here we have the Force Shaper, where we get physical damage. And as I said, these are physical spells, so they will scale with physical. More power charges, and here we have the typical crit multi-life starting area from the Assassin to, yeah, power that one up. So that's actually pretty interesting. So let's talk about the choices that I would like to have. And yes, these are going to be, yeah, futuristic stuff. So they released a new item in this patch. Let's see, Eternity Shroud. Well, maybe we're gonna fix the Pantheons real quick. Lunaris for now for the clear speed could actually be Soul of Solaris. Here I have Tukuhama for stationary heal. That's pretty good. You can go for Poison immunity if you're scared that Tora will still one-shot you, and yes, she does. For Uber Elder, probably Soul of Yugul. You could take Aberrath as well, so Pantheon is not like so mandatory. The bandit choices, I helped Alira because we're a crit build, and in every crit build I help Alira because the all resistance and the crit multiplier is pretty insane. So, the anti-X real quick, Celestial Hood with the Fiery Eyes, Kitaver, Body Armor, Gloves and Boots. Then we have the Dragon Hunter Wings, Double Seraph Sword with the Forged Weapon effect, Celestial Character effect, Celestial Footprints, and here we have the new Celestial Aura. Then we have Wrath is useless at the moment, Automaton Herald effect, the Innocence Lightning Warp. I'm still not sure if I should take this one or the Automaton, because that would actually for the red part look actually pretty good on my MTX, but I still think that this one is more beautiful, the more light one, because this one actually is like yellowish as well. And if I haven't told you that one, you're freaking going to go Super Saiyan once you hit 20 stacks. So if we're just gonna keep on channeling, and once we reach 20 stacks, boom! Isn't that insane? Ah, love it. Went out of mana, cast went off. So, let's go back to this one. So this is the new chest that drops, I think, on both Shaper and Uber Elder. Because here says it's a Shaper drop, but a friend told me that he got the same item on Uber Elder. So I don't know if this is just a typo mistake and it's actually an Uber Elder drop, but we're gonna see. So that one has those two stats, right? So notepad, so we make this one a little bit bigger. We gain 3 to 5%, obviously you want to divide that to 5% of elemental damage as extra chaos damage per Shaper item. And this is the thing where I thought like, hey, this is the perfect item for me. Remember when I made my, wait a second, wasn't the Essence Drain character? Just give me a second here. Essence Drain, mbXtreme, low life, something English. Where is it? Here, the update. So if you take a look at the gear that I'm wearing, where we are, here. If you take a look at the gear that I'm wearing, shaped helm doesn't need to be a shaped helm. Shaped gloves doesn't need to be shaped. Shaped, shaped, shaped over here. Okay, this is Elder, but I was using the spell damage ring, the Mark of the Shaper. And in later stages, I even got a shaped unique, shaped chevrons. So I just love the shaped background. So basically what that means is that this item is perfect for me, because now I get, for every shaped item that I have, I get 3 elemental damage as extra chaos damage. And if you're gonna count in, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 items that could be potentially Shaper items. That would be up to 50% in extra damage, you know. And once our gear is completely shaped, we're gonna ignore the chaos resistance of the enemy, so that's even more damage, right? And this is actually sick, because what my mindset would say is, hey, you get the Eternity Shroud. That's already a Shaper item, so you want to have a lot of Shaper items, so basically no uniques unless you chance them. So my first idea was, why don't you chance 2 Void Batteries? So I know this is probably not gonna work out like that, but I think I actually do have, if we're gonna go back here, let's somewhere in standard. I wanna see if I still have that one. So you can chance shaped items. And once you chance shaped items, the unique that will come out, if you chance it, will be shaped. So let me quickly check here. I think it was somewhere in my stash tab, because it was pretty expensive. Probably not over here. Oh god, I need to clean this one up. Here we go. Here we go. There it is. So this is a shaped, as you can see on the background, a shaped Void Battery. So how you do that, you take a Prophecy Wand, a shaped one, and then you start chancing it, like throwing chance orbs on it, score off, chance, score off, or you're gonna buy the Prophecy Trash to Treasure, where you actually gonna get a unique while chancing on the first chance orb, but the Prophecy will be expensive. But this is a way where you can get actually shaped unique items. And especially the Void Battery is pretty insane, because you get 1 max power charge, spell damage per power charge. I mean, you get some reduced, but the more power charges you have, the better those weapons will be. And I calculated this yesterday. You probably, when you dual wield those Void Batteries, you get about 330 spell damage increased, I think, which is just insane. So let's move that one over somewhere and log back to the other character. We can actually quickly check how much the Trash to Treasure goes at the moment. So let's open the PoE trait. We have Trash to Treasure, and they go for not found. Hey, offline, any? Ah, there you go. 8 exalts. So yeah, they are expensive, but they will guarantee your shaped void battery. So I think on my point of view, I'm just gonna try to gear this one up now. Maybe at some point I get the Eternity Shroud, and then I will try to stack as many shaped items as possible, even some shaped Wands maybe. But maybe at some point I'm gonna try chancing some Prophecy Wands to get those juicy shaped void batteries. So yeah, I think it's time to go and progress into the higher tier of maps. I was clearing with my level 72 on mid-tier maps. Probably gonna stay like that for till level 80 or so, and then we're gonna start progressing on the high tier maps, and we're gonna see how far we come today. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, stay tuned. I'm gonna bring an update in a couple of days and see how easy or how hard it was to down Uber Elder. So cheers.